Okay, fifth graders, most of you use the subtraction algorithm. Remember, we talked in class about an algorithm being just a simplified process or a calculation, a way to do things. Okay, we've talked about a lot of strategies for subtraction, but now I want to talk about the algorithm and, more importantly, why the algorithm works. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my problem. So let's say the problem is 922 minus 645. Okay. And then over here on the other side, I'm going to do the expanded version, so we'll just call it the expanded algorithm. So we have 922 minus 645. Okay, so this is just expanded notation. It's the same problem. So on the left over here, I know that I need to take 5 away from 2. And I know that I can't do that. So I need to go over here and regroup, or I need to borrow. Okay, I'm going to change my 2 to a 1. And this 2 over here becomes a 12. Okay, now, if you look at the expanded side, you can see why that happened. Okay, we still have 2 minus 5 over here, and I'm still going to go next door to borrow, but when I borrowed 1, what I'm actually doing is I'm borrowing 10, because this is the tens place. So the 20 became a 10, just like over here the 2 became a 1. And the 10 that I took away from that, I'm going to add to this 2, so now it makes it a 12. Okay, so same process. I'm just showing you that it's working. So 12 minus 5 is 7. And now I'm looking at this 1 up here. I can't do 1 minus 4. Can't take 4 away from 1. If you look over on the right-hand side, you'll see that it's actually 40 that I'm trying to take away from 10. Again, I can't do that. So I need to go to the left and I need to borrow some. Or as we talked in class, I'm taking it. I'm not going to give it back. So I'm going to take 100 from my 900, which makes my 900 800. And I'm going to add that 100 to my 10 and make my 10 110. In the algorithm, I'm going next door and I'm making my 9 an 8, and I'm making my 1 an 11. Okay, so now I can do 11 minus 4, which is 7, or 110 minus 40, which is 70. All right, and then I can do the last one. Got my 8, and I'm going to take my 8, I'm going to subtract 6 from it, which gives me 2, or if you look on the right, 800 minus 600, which is 200. So my answer is 277. 200 plus 70 plus 7. Okay, that's how the algorithm works. All right, let's do one that involves thousandths. Okay, so, all right, so I've got the problem set up. 1,206 minus 728. And then if you look on the right, I've got my 1,200, I have no tens, and I have 6 ones, and then 720 and 8. Okay? You do have to put those zeros in the place that you don't have anything, because they become very important when you're remembering that you're trying to take away and borrow and regroup and all of that stuff. Okay? All right. So let's start. I'm looking at my 6 on the left here. 6 minus 8, which I can't do. Can't take 8 away from 6. So I need to go next door. Here's the problem. Next door doesn't have anything to give me. All right, so let's look at this on the right-hand side. I'm going to go next door to borrow 10, but there's not 10 to give me. So I actually need to go 2 spots over. I need to take 100 from my 200, which makes my 100 1 or makes my 200 100. I'm taking the 100 that I borrowed, and I'm going to give it to my tens spot. So now my 0 tens is actually 100. Now I can take 10 away from it. So if I take 10 away from 100, I get 90. And when I take those 10 and I give them to my 6, I get 16. Okay. Over on the left, we make this a 9, and if I made that a 9, I have to make this a 1. Okay, you saw over on the right why I had to do that, and in order to do that, I gave that 10 to the 6. So 16 minus 8 is 8. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now, I can do 9 minus 2, or 90 minus 20. It's going to give me 70, or 7 in the algorithm. Now, remember when we took 100 from the 200? Well, we only left it with 100, or on the left in the algorithm, we left it with 1. Okay? Can't take 700 from 100, or you can't take 7 from 1. So we need to go to the thousands spot and take 1,000 from them. I'm going to take the whole 1,000, and I'm going to give it to my 100. I'm going to take the whole 1,000, and I'm going to give it to my 1 over here. So now I've got 11 minus 7, or 1,100 minus 700, which is 400, which is 4. So my answer is 478. So you're borrowing, or you're taking from the place value next to it, and you're taking that many. So if I'm borrowing from the tens, I'm taking 10. If I'm borrowing from the hundreds, I'm taking 100. If I'm borrowing from the thousands, I'm borrowing 1,000, or I'm taking 1,000. Okay? So that's how the algorithm works. I'm going to do one more algorithm video, and I'll just call it algorithm part 2, in case you need to see it a couple different ways.